Hey Artistic Bestie, welcome to DP Nails It. I am DP, and today I'm going to show you 613 on a sewing machine. The making of it is the full version. I will not be speeding it up. I will not be doing any cuts. There might be a little bit of a transitional situation because of how I had to get the film on here, on the program that I'm on, but it's straight through. And I guarantee it is all real time. I made this ponytail within the time frame that you are watching it in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. As you can see here, I am taking the one bundle that I have and I am double wefting it. Double wefting will help provide more fullness onto the net. It also helps speed things up. So double wefting, it's very handy to do and very not time consuming, but time efficient. This is a, wow, you know what? Honestly, I can't even remember. Because right now, to be completely even more honest with you, as you can see from my previous videos, I am recovering from an allergy attack. So some of these videos that I am posting will be a little bit behind, back videos. So when I had done this was just about maybe almost a month ago. And I've done several of blonde lengths. So this one in particular, I don't remember. I know it's anywhere between a 22 inch and a 24 inch. I know this for sure that this is not my 30 inch. It will be much longer. But most likely this is anywhere between 22 inch, 24 inch. And right now I'm showing you my process. I'm just showing you how I started from beginning to end. All my other videos were the process, but they were sped up a little bit for time consumption. Sometimes you don't want to sit there and watch, you just want to get a gist of the video. But this video I am making for those who actually want to sit and watch the full effect. Here is when I'm showing you the actual net. I'm showing you the weft as one now. It was folded in half and now it's one double weft. And here I do a little rough draft of sizing, measuring. I do an estimate guessing of how many tracks it will take to fit onto the lace. And what I do is I go across it. Since I've been doing this for a while now, I have an idea of the spacing. So I kind of just play along with the spacing to map out how many lines I will need to put onto the net from the amount that I will get from the actual track. And once I have that number, I would now take out my grid. As you can see, I came across this idea because, especially with me being new to doing this, the lines don't come out straight. Even with the lines that you mark on there, the marker lines like you would a wig, sometimes the lines you're sewing still doesn't come out straight. However, those lines on your net and on your wig cap is for guidance. So this is the same procedure here. I'm just using my markings and my line work as in guidance to where I'm going to place the tracks. I have the number from what I guesstimated as you saw me do. And now I'm going to plug in those numbers by the amount of lines I can get from this grid. And once I get them onto there, I will use them as a guideline. I'm not going to use them specifically as in this is going to be it, this is permanent, like these are the lines, I have to follow them. No, they're just there as a guideline. So there may be a time that the line that I marked, I might put a track either before it, on it, or after it, depending on the actual spacing. What I am using is it is a permanent marker. It is a Sharpie permanent marker because it helps to not I've tried using like the tailor's chalk, but that was a mess. It gets smudgy and then it also gets in my machine, which is a huge no-no. So I did go back to the old school, marking it up with a marker, and it worked beautifully. So the markings will go away within time. after several uses of washing and wear. No, it won't go into your hair, and it won't go into the tracks. They will just fade away within time. And after using these markers, I now will use it as a guide for the machine. And as you can see, this is me placing the first track. The first track is the most important track because it allows me to have an idea of where I'm going to place the rest of the tracks. So this one I kind of take almost as seriously as the very last one in placement, because it sets the tone for where the other tracks are going to be placed. Right now, I'm just tying up some loose strings. It depends on how the loose strings are. Sometimes they are separated on either side, and then there are times that they are together on the one side. And this is one of those situations that they were together on the one side. So with that being an opportunity to secure it even more, I just knotted it with itself. I double knotted it, and then I'm going to cut off the excess. Trying to make sure I catch all of the strings at the end. I mean, sometimes I may miss one or two, so you may get a ponytail attachment with a couple of loose strings. I guarantee you it was not on purpose, but sometimes I do miss them, even though I try to make sure I catch all of them. So as you can see, the first track was placed, and I showed you both front and back. It is very important to make sure that you place the lace properly, because your ponytail has to be wrapped a particular way. And if your Velcro, the meshy part, the little scratchy part, not the mesh part, but well, actually, yeah, I guess you would call that the mesh part, and then the other part would be more like the Velcro area, the actual term of the Velcro. That has to be placed up. Has to be up at all times. That way, when you wrap the ponytail, it's actually sticking to it. Sorry for the delay right now. Usually I have, something going before I start, but I was so into what I was doing, I forgot to either reset the movie or put another movie on. So that's what you saw me doing. I was trying to get the groove back of what I was listening to. As you can see on the top is like the hair part, like a meshy part, and then back right here on the very top is all lace. So that is very important when sewing these ponytail attachments. You have to make sure that the Velcro meshy part is faced up at all times. Nice and smooth. Place it under, put the foot pedal on. I have my settings there. My settings on high tension to make sure that it's secured. My width is at a 6, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's at a 6. And the pattern is zigzag. I used zigzag so that it can catch on both ends of the tracks, since there are 2 tracks. So I needed a zigzag to catch both tracks. So I'm using a zigzag pattern. And as you can see, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty quick. I mean, once you get in the flow of things, It goes by really fast. I mean, I was watching a video and this girl, she made a whole ponytail attachment within 7 minutes. 7 minutes. So I've gotten better. I've gotten around 15, 16 when I'm not recording. So, but then I'm kind of more at the 20-minute mark because I'm still at that point where I'm still making sure that I'm doing everything correctly. However, yeah, when I get in the flow, yes, it can go anywhere from 15 to like 18 minutes. And I'm very proud of that. I put in a lot of work to make sure that time efficiency is there. And time efficiency is needed to not sit there all day for hours making something that literally doesn't take as long to make. You can see, the lines are very good, very, very good. And that's because of my guide marking that I used. I used them to guide me. Like I said, either I used it on the line, before the line, or after the line, depending on the placement. And especially since I have double tracks, sometimes the lines aren't as accurate as they need to be. So I have to adjust accordingly as I'm sewing. So as long as I'm sticking to the line amount to make sure I use every inch of that bundle, we're good to go. I'm good to go. As long as I'm using each number of the tracks, each line of the same amount of that I counted out from the beginning, it's all good. And I have to leave a piece out for the strap, of course, so that you can have, and I make sure I leave extra hair out specifically because from the ponytails I've seen, they don't have that much hair on the ends, on the straps. So me personally, I want to make sure that my brand has plenty of hair on the straps, that when you wrap it around, it is full coverage for the wraparound. I'm doing my checks. Right now, I'm checking to make sure that the count is where it's supposed to be. Because sometimes I do get carried away and not pay attention to the actual numbers, and I'm just sewing. And I did that one time. I realized that I miscounted because I wasn't paying attention, and I left out one whole track when I was at the end and I was ready to do the strap. And I had all this extra hair, and I was like, where did all this extra hair come from? And then when I looked at my lace and really paid attention to it, I saw where I was missing the one track. So I put it back on there, but man, was that a struggle because of the hair. And don't forget, it's high tension, or the machine is set on a high tension, so it was not easy to flip the previous track up for me to fit that one track in. And I got it done, don't get me wrong, I got it done, but it was a fight. It was a fight. I had to make sure the hairs didn't get caught up in the machine. It was just like, oh, girl. So here, I make sure that I make it a habit to always count my lines to make sure that I'm adding the amount of tracks that I'm supposed to, so I do not have to go back in to try to squeeze in that missed track. Here we go, front and back. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't it great? Look at that. Look at the lines, honey child. Yes, I am proud of that. Yes, I am very much so proud of that. So, them lines. Now, don't get me wrong. I may miss the mark a little bit, and it may be a little up somewhere in the corner or something like that, or skis sloping off of a straight line. But if it's presentable, I will keep it because I can fix it along the way as I'm continuing to go up. I can continue to straighten out the line so that they all even out. But there are times that, yes, I completely missed the mark and I had to take it out and redo it. So it's not going to be perfect every time because I'm human. It can't be perfect every time. And even machines mess up. There's nothing perfect, but it has to be presentable. It has to be clean, and it has to look good. And as long as it's all three of those, to me, that's most important. And for this video, that was great. That was most important. And I'm very proud of myself. This was a one take video. I didn't practice and then do it again, and I was like, okay, no, I got to do it right this time. No, I've been making these ponytails for a while now, and I said, let's go, let's record me doing 613. I've recorded some other ones as you've seen, but for the 613 in particular, especially since 613 is such high demand, I was like, let me make this one a full video. And instead of using my time lapse that I've done for the other videos, I kept this one on the normal speed, and I showed you my progress. And this is what I've been doing. This is what I've done for my previous videos with the time lapse, that you couldn't see every inch of the detail, but this time you can see every inch of the detail. Here you can see it's actually me, because the other videos only showed the machine in my hands, and I told you before, I'm promising that I'm going to show myself a little more, especially behind the scenes, because you need to see that it is me, DP herself, making these items for you under DP Nails It. I'm not selling you stuff that I bought from somewhere and then remarketing it and then putting my name on it and saying I made that. No, that's not what that's about. I am a legit business. You can see that on Who is DP. I show you a copy of my actual license, if that's what you want to call it, like what the New York State gave me to confirm my business information, my name, my everything. And I blurred out some things, of course, but those are my papers. So I'm here to be as legit as possible, to be transparent as possible, and to bring you truth and not lies. And I'm not trying to scam you. And here we go. You see we're at the top. And I have spaced that little gap there, spacing for one more. The very last one. And that one is the most important because of several reasons. One, it's the first one that you see. Two, it takes the most beating because of all the brushing since it's on the top. And three, because you're going to Velcro it, eventually it will wear and tear on the lace itself. So here you will see that I am going to continuously go back and forth with the sewing to secure the integrity of it. You don't want to go back and forth too much, because then you're going to make it bulky, and that will defeat the purpose of the security, because now there's too much thread and it will come apart at some point. But more than the previous ones, you want to make sure that it's really on there and secure. And here we go, cutting that off. As you can see, like I said, look at my time. The time is less than 18 minutes. And you saw this in real time. You saw me take it from the one bundle that I took out of the package. You saw me fold it up. You saw me double track it. You saw me put the guidelines on the lace. And you saw me sew each track one by one. And look at that. I got to the last track around 18 minutes, which is not bad at all, which is another reason I don't mind doing this because it does not take a very long time. And I could bust out quite a few ponytails within a couple of hours, which is very self-confidence, mass production. I'm not a machine, so I can't mass produce all of this stuff. However, time efficiency is very important to maximize your quantity. And I got this procedure down. As you can see, I think I got it down almost down to a T, to the point where I go straight through and boom, look at that. The beautiful lines front and back. Excuse me. And I am trying to make sure that I do everything correctly. When I first started, it took me up to about 40 minutes. And that's because I was baby stepping everything, making sure that, everything. But once you create habits, that's the most important thing. You have to start off with good habits with anything you do. You start off with good habits, take it slow, manage your time wisely, and then once you've got the technique down, then you can work on speed. Don't work on speed just because you feel you want to get everything done so fast and so quick and then your product is a mess. No, that's not cool. Work on technique first. And then once you've gotten technique down and you've done it over and over again, repetition, automatically speed will come naturally. And that's where I'm at right now because I've been doing this for a while now. Speed is just coming along because I'm just going straight through without having to second guess certain things or to double check certain things or mess up in between the lines like I did before. You know, like I said, one time I missed a whole track and I had to fit it in where I missed it. And that was more of a struggle because I had to fight with the hairs that are already sewn down. So technique first, technique, and then speed will come. And that's where I'm at right now. For the straps, as you can see, I'm using that last little bit of hair that was left. It is less than that full amount, the full length of the lace that you can see right in front of you. It is less than that, but it's a lot still left. And I'm going to use every inch of it as best as possible, and I'm going to put it on that strap. So technically, that whole empty space of that strap, I will place hair all the way up to where the rest of the hair meets. I still leave a little bit of gap because you still have to be able to attach it on there. If I fill it all the way up, you can't Velcro it. You can't secure it on there because it won't stick to the hair. So you still have to leave a little bit of that little, furry, Velcro-y. I have to find out what the name of that is. But you have to leave that, available so that when you're wrapping it, it has something to actually hold and stick to. The more you put on that strap, because of the thread, from what I've learned and seen, because of the threading in the back, it won't stick. It won't stick. So I'm still getting my placement together perfectly so that you have security, but you don't want them too bunched up together because then you want more space so that you can kind of maximize the length of the hair, and it makes the wrapping more efficient because you have longer hair to wrap. It's not necessarily you have more hair to wrap as in like a mount and bunch. No, you have it longer because of the spacing, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, here my bottom thread had emptied out, and that was perfect timing too because it finished exactly when I finished my last threading, which sometimes doesn't always happen. It sometimes runs out in the middle of the track, but this one ran out right on time. So I would say, that was perfect for, camera angle, but it wasn't. Here, I did lose footage. Unfortunately, some of my data was corrupted and it just would not play. It would not play. I don't know why, but it would not play. So the only thing you missed was me actually threading the bottom. I can't think of the name right now, but threading the bottom, after I placed the bobbin in, and I just threaded it to get it started, and then I grabbed my product to continue on. So that's the only few seconds that you missed. But unfortunately, yeah, I did lose that because for some reason, with this one and another video that I did upload, it got corrupted, and I'm missing some footage in between. So, technology, right? You can't always rely on it. So here I am doing the finishing touches of the strap, and I'm almost at the end. I think maybe I have about one left. I tried to make sure I cut off the sides of the track to kind of keep it aligned with the width of the strap so that it doesn't stick out on the edges. I mean, sometimes I may leave just a little tiny bit if I can't get it so cleanly cut, but to leave a big bulk, sticking out from the side, no. I'm cutting it the same width as the strap. Here I'm adding the I think this is the final track, you can say, for the strap area. Um, Here I noticed that just like the bottom, the bottom threading came out because there was no more thread on the bottom, on the bobbin. Now on the top, it unthreaded itself. Sometimes the pressure and the tension, it stops it from flowing, and as I'm sewing, it will pop the thread. So that's what happened. And now you see me rethreading um, the actual machine itself to get it back into production. Have it working again. And then here we go. Continuing on. I never lifted the footer, and I never moved the product out of the way because I didn't need to. I left it exactly where I stopped at so I can continue on. And all I did was, after I got the threading through the hole, I slid it in between the footer so that I didn't have to create extra work for me. Time efficiency and time management is all in one, but also how you work also helps you save time and stress as well. So here you can see I added all the hair that was left from the track. And there are my lines on the back. And now I'm doing the comb attachment. There is a little bit of space left on the gap, but because this bundle is only but so much, because it's long. Of course, the longer the bundle, the less they give you. That was all I had. And if I had spaced it out any more, especially it being so thin and flat, um, it wouldn't have given the effect that I needed to create bulk during the wrap. Because the length itself, which you continuously wrapping it, because it is long, it will bulk within itself without having to space it out so much. So that's the only reason why I left that gap. And like I said, the more you leave of a gap, the better the security, so that it sticks on to the Velcro. You want it to stick on. I mean, you put it on, you want that security. So I have to make sure that I don't interfere with you being able to wrap it properly. Now, with me putting on the comb, this is a hand technique. Shout out to Fabulous Wigs. I mean, she's been doing this for a very long time. And that was the only thing that I dreaded, was me being able to do the comb attachment without interfering with the metal part. Because it can break your needle if you go through it, which I have done. So I was like, how am I going to do this without breaking my needle all the time? And what you do is you would just turn the wheel, turn the knob by hand so that you can control it. And then if the needle does hit the wire, then you can shift the product over so that it clears it. Now, as you can see, I did take the comb attachment out because of I can't remember why, because like I said, this was a few weeks ago, but most likely if I did that is because it wasn't centered. It was not in the middle. It was completely just off center to the point where it was like, no, I can't leave it like that. So I took it out, and as you can see, I'm putting it back on again. So I do start off with the foot pedal if there's a long enough fabric, because all of them come in different sizes to a degree. Some come with like a little bit of fabric at the end, and some come with a lot of fabric at the end. So if it has a lot of fabric at the end, I will start it off with the pedal. I would just like pump it a little bit to get the machine going, and then once it gets near the wire part, that's when you see me use my hand. And as you can see, it comes out very well. It comes out very well. All I did was start from the bottom, because you always want to start from the bottom, just like you would with real hair. And then you comb it out, working your way up. And then there it is. That's probably, that might be my 30 inch. No, that's probably 24 inch. But it might just be my 30 inch, which is probably why it's so flat. Because unfortunately, the 30 inch is a little flatter than the other ones. And not by choice, that's the way they made it. And I was thinking about that. I said, at least with the 30 inch, maybe I can add in an extra track to make it more full. But the amount that they give you in the track is the same amount that they would for the other bundle. So I don't have any space, as you can see. You can see from the netting in the back that everything is close. It's close. So there is no space for me to add extra hair. Doing a demonstration of me wrapping it around. As you see, it's full coverage. You can see that. It's full coverage, which is what everybody is looking for. And there it is. You don't have to worry about anything coming out. And you have blonde on top of blonde on top of blonde on top of blonde. The threading is blonde, the hair is blonde, the comb is blonde. So there is no dark spots of anything being exposed from your ponytail. It's going to be straight up blonde, 613, as you like it, as you want it. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for being here at DP Nails It, watching DPNI Wrap Around Ponytails being made in full. They are available online at dpnailsit.com. They are on sale. They are at a reduced price. They will be for limited time, but they will be there for a nice little while. So join in while you can. And I will see you later. Have a great day, Artistic Bestie.